Welcome to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis. We've got your HCC news and information for Thursday, April the 23rd. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being with us today. We've got some special guests on the show. One of them, you may recognize her from before and also from her stories she posts in social media. Carolina Linares, who is an HCC production assistant and international student. Carolina, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Todd. One more time here.
And I think my co-host, Brittany Pacheco, has just joined us as well. And Brittany, we're going to get to you in a moment. Thanks for being here today. And first, we're going to go ahead and start with Nicole Temple. Now, Nicole is the Vice President of Education for the Houston Museum of Natural Science. Nicole, welcome to the show. And, I've got to admit, I've been to the Houston Museum of Natural Science many times over the years. And I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart, but your museum is one of my favorites in the city of Houston. You guys certainly make us proud with all you have to offer. But when you go to the HMNS, it seems like you always have your exhibits you have on display at all time are interesting, and I can see them 20 different times and learn something new every time I'm there.
That's what we're hoping for. Different layers of education.
Now, you are, we've discussed this before we started with the show, but we're all living in a new virtual world. Things have changed dramatically over the last 30 to 45 days. And as the Vice President of Youth Education Programs, tell me what you were doing before all this happened and how your role has expanded.
So the education department has changed a lot because part of the charm or part of the allure of the museum is that you get the opportunity to touch things and interact with them in a hands-on way, in a personal way. And when we have been removed from that situation and we can't interact with our patrons like we like to, then it's definitely presenting a challenge. So we have, just like everybody, taken to the internet and to social media trying to bring those connections back. So like one of the things that we're doing is every day at 1 p.m. on Facebook, we're teaching a lab. So it's a different instructor every day and they sort of rotate through. So you're getting different content and different personalities, but it is a, say, 15 to 25 minute lesson that would be of interest to various ages.
You know, we've got a situation here where parents are home with their kids all the time. There's online learning going on through their schools, but you're also looking to keep the kids engaged. And what I've found it's a pretty cool thing across the nation, not just here in Houston. It seems like museums are opening their doors to give everyone these virtual tours and to give them glimpses of things they haven't seen before. And I guess you guys have jumped in full blown with this whole thing, correct?
Yes, we have a huge amount of content. If you go to the museum's webpage, hmns.org, and you scroll down, on the left-hand side, there is a yellow button that says HMNS at Home, and we're sort of dumping all the content onto there, and we're sorting it out later. But so we have tours of the greenhouse, we have tours of the butterfly set gardens that people have at their homes. We also have virtual field trips for kids. So it is questions about the exhibits with the information you need to answer those questions, plus films, plus extension activities, and they're all bundled together just like you would take a regular field trip.
What has the reaction been from the staff at the museum? I mean, this is troubling times because you don't have visitors in there, but I guess it's exciting times because you're getting to do something fresh and new, and you're getting to give people something they haven't seen before.
Yes, that is true. And I don't know if you've been following the news, but we had to furlough 70% of the museum staff, which is troubling in a number of ways. But museum is such a family, like, I don't think that anybody would disagree with that. So the 30% of us that are left are working as hard as we can to make sure we can bring back the 70%. And so everybody is having to take on different roles. So like I am learning all sorts of new technology things, and we're just all doing different jobs. So it's sort of an interesting time. It's sort of an excellent time for growth, personal and professional. And we are working as hard as we can to keep Houston engaged in learning, because no matter where you are or what you're doing, the learning doesn't stop.
You also offer things called virtual museum field trips. Tell us about those and how people can get into those to take one with their kids at home.
So they are located two places. One is on the HMNS at home button, and the other one is if you go to education, there's a field trip spot there. They're located there as well. Currently have 3 of them up. One's on dinosaurs and earth science, one is on energy, and the other one is on wildlife. And the wildlife one is particularly relevant since Earth Day was yesterday. We're sort of celebrating the Earth this month. And then there's several different opportunities for you to engage with the curriculum or with the topic in various ways, and then you can pick and choose what you want to do. And we also are going to have one for Egypt here up in a minute.
You guys also have a number of traveling exhibits that you may have at the museum for several months at a time. And I know have a lot of them obviously have been put on hold. How are you handling that when you're looking at scheduling over the next year or so, when you really don't know when we're going to be able to get back in some fashion to have visitors in the museum? How do you balance those things?
So for one example, we have Pompeii, an exhibit on Pompeii coming, and it was scheduled to open sometime soon. I can't even remember what are days anymore. But it can't leave its current place. The place that it's currently being exhibited, because they're shut down. So we're just delaying the open, and it'll be around July 4th-ish. And then we also have the Death by Natural Causes exhibit, which is a special exhibition, but we built that in-house. So we have people going in to maintain the animals and making sure the venomous critters get fed, but it's just living there and ready for people to come back in.
Yeah, that exhibit, I've seen a lot of press on that, and that seems fascinating, that one exhibit that you have. Can you tell us a little bit about it, and can people find anything on that exhibit online as well?
One, it's a great exhibit. I was one of the co-curators, so I highly recommend it. But it has various levels, so you can, what we do, sort of the streaker version where you just run through it and you look at things and you can gain information that way. You can do the stroller version of the tour where you go and you read all the text panels. And then there's additionally an audio guide that we're trying to figure out how to get that up online, because you don't have to be in the exhibit to be able to listen to it, for additional content that's unrelated to the text panels or the objects that are in there. It's been very popular because it is so interactive, and it's supposed to be a humorous look at a macabre topic, but in actuality, it's telling you how you don't need to worry about things.
Right.
And a hamburger's going to be what gets you.
We're looking at hopefully opening up the nation, and at least Harris County, in the next few weeks in limited fashion. We've learned a lot, all of us, while this shutdown has happened, a new way of doing things. As you move forward and we're allowing visitors back in the museum, what have you guys learned that you think you may incorporate as we move forward? Maybe is it more online learning, more virtual exhibits? What do you think you'll utilize when things do open back up?
We'd already been working towards having more online content, so that just got accelerated. It's now 100% of what we care about. So we're keeping that, and then for when we get ready to reopen, we're going to reopen, we'll say soonish, but we're going to be reopening in a limited capacity. So we're having to limit patron interactions and let people self-distance, but we still want to make sure that people are getting the personal content and the personal interactions that they did before. So we're definitely having to adjust the way that we're staffing things and the way we're communicating with patrons.
So you would see possibly, and I know it's too early to predict, but when things do open up, you guys are already planning to where you'd have less people in the museum, I guess, in other words, correct?
Yeah, so the museum, most people don't know this, but there's a huge amount of square footage in the museum. It's just mind-boggling how many square feet there are. So they have been looking at models where we took down, so it's only public spaces, and that's not including like the restrooms and the restaurants and stuff like that. And then we basically are taking some portion of that so that people can be in the museum, but it's going to be on a limited capacity and there's going to be a limited number of tickets, first come, first serve.
We've been talking with Nicole Temple, Vice President of Education for Houston Museum of Natural Science. Nicole, I thank you for being here with us this morning and letting us know all the exciting things you're doing. And, you know, our hearts and our thoughts go out to your employees that you guys had to furlough right now. We do hope you guys get back in full operation soon, because Houston Museum of Natural Science is a very important part of Houston. We need our museums back open, and it's very encouraging to hear that you guys are out there online doing what you can right now and offering people a glimpse behind the doors.
Yeah, we're trying. And thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here today. Thanks for joining us. We're going to move on to Carolina Linares, and Carolina is one of our production assistants at HCCTV, and she's an international student. Carolina, you're originally from Colombia, right?
Yes, from the capital, Bogota.
Now, interesting story. If you don't know, Carolina went out of town for spring break. You went to Indiana. Guess what? You're still there, huh?
Yes. I keep getting flights and I keep moving them because news change every day. So I just decided not to get a ticket until everything gets settled.
Well, the good thing about that, even though you're on Indiana on an extended vacation, you can still take your classes here at HCC because you're able to just start right back up the day that students returned, right?
Yes, that's the convenient part of it. And most of the classes require only for me to have my laptop over here. So that's very nice. It's been a challenge. I bet a lot of students have issues with Wi-Fi, internet, and so on. But I'm grateful that I am able to take the classes online.
So what's the mood in Indiana right now? I can tell you in Houston, we're looking at still cases that are being found every day, and but we're hoping things are getting better here. What's the general consensus up there from at least the family you're with right now, and the mood up there? Are you guys optimistic? Are there a lot of cases in the area where you are? What's it like?
Yes, there are a lot of cases, but I think Texas has a lot more. Well, since it's a bigger state, of course. But people here took this very serious. Even before the stay-at-home regulations, people just started to work at home, and I got here as soon as spring break, which was like 40 days ago or so. So people started to go home, and things started to regulate. And this is a very small city over here. I'm in Columbus, not in the capital, Indianapolis. It's pretty close. It's an hour close. But here, it's people only go out for the essentials, honestly. Like for running and exercising outside, I don't see a lot of people. And I don't think that people go out just for fun. They actually go because they're bored at home and they need exercise. I hear my neighbors exercising at home, but we actually need to get outside and breathe fresh air. So it's very nice. Everyone is taking it so seriously here.
And I imagine, are all the businesses shut down, or are the restaurants offering takeout like they are here? What is that like?
They are offering takeout. There are a lot of local businesses here, so they're encouraging us to go to those places as well. But takeout, just like Houston. So if we want to go, I drive and through the drive-through if I can. Some restaurants don't offer the drive-through, so I take the precautions like wearing gloves or the mask if I can. If not, I'm just like ordering groceries and I go pick them up and cook over here with my family.
You mentioned the masks starting here in Houston. Harris County has implemented a mandatory mask procedure where we all have to wear masks here in when you're out in public, except with a few exceptions. Are they doing that in Columbus right now, or is it voluntary or suggested?
As far as I know, it's voluntary. Yeah, I haven't heard that it's mandatory. However, I've seen a lot of people even going out jogging or walking with their masks. Yeah. Well, more older people. They take the precautions, but I don't think it's mandatory yet. feel like it's going
So
to be mandatory very soon.
you've been producing some remote reports while you're up there. I know you did one a few weeks ago talking about your experience up there and getting stuck in Indiana. But tell me about the latest one you just posted that people can find in our social media and also on our YouTube channel.
So in the HCCTV remote report, we are having so many different report types, and we were telling how our experience were from different places in around the world, around the country. So what we decided to go on, we decided to create something for students because we have heard that a lot of students are having frustrations at home of how to manage their time and so on and so on. So I did some research in the internet. There are a lot of articles about how to manage your time, especially now at home. So I just created a video about 6 tips of how to stay productive and mentally healthy while working and studying at home.
And we've got to tell folks at home, if they're wondering, how are these students doing reports? We have tasked all of our students who are working for HCCTV to produce reports for social media, but they need to follow certain guidelines, meaning they have to do the report remotely from the house. We want them to do work from the home, and it's really created some challenges, but it's also become very creative for the students because you guys have come up with creative ways to tell these stories without stepping out of your house and having to go get video somewhere. You're really having to use some new ways of telling a story.
That's so cool. It takes time to adapt to I mean, we had the technologies already, but it was necessary to make our own research of how to make this better. So at home, we only have our smartphones, our computers. So it was a challenge. Some people have their equipment at home, but still, like, you have to create the content from your house. So it's interesting, and I'm grateful that I have learned so much, even at school. At school, we have also learned how to work with those new technologies and how we can keep them, even if everything comes back to normality, how we're going to move and evolve, you know.
And if people are wondering, are you using your smartphone as your primary source of video?
Yes. Yes, I am using my smartphone. I have a camera at home, but I didn't bring it this time. I thought it was going to be a 1 week break.
Yeah. So tell us about some of these tips that you were able to research. And you said you had 6 of them. Maybe you could go through them real quickly and tell us what the tips are.
Absolutely. So one of the most important tips that I put here as the number 1 was the location, because a lot of students and even staff members of HCC, they were facing some issues on where should I work because they don't have an office, a home office. So I over here created a tip that's find yourself a dedicated and comfortable spot that it's associated to how you had your office or the classroom. So when you're off clock, you just go away from there and clock out and leave it. So that was the most important one because, for example, I didn't have my space here, so I had to create one with my sister, and we're sharing a room. So if she has a meeting, I have to manage the time to have her meeting one at a time and then move to mine.
Right.
The second one, it's kind of funny. It's wearing pants because a lot of people.
Okay, all right. Hold on a second there. See, okay, today I'm wearing pants, all right? I'm wearing jeans today. I've got jeans on.
Cool.
So, but usually I'm wearing shorts because it's more comfortable. But I get the point, because you want to wear pants, I guess you feel like you're more in an office, right?
Yes, the point is not to wear pajamas. So you get
Oh, yeah, I don't wear pajamas. All right. Okay.
That's the point, because you get too comfortable, and sometimes when I go to lunch and I go to watch TV, if I'm wearing pajamas or something too comfortable, I just want to keep staying there and I'm not going to get back to my work. So that's why I pointed this. Then I have a plan or a schedule. So working at home, you have to keep a more structured schedule, not like in the office. So I created here that you need multiple breaks throughout the day, because you're sitting over here and you think you're going to be more productive by staying in front of the computer, and staying at home still after work, it's kind of frustrating. So over here, I have in the video some examples of how to get a cup of coffee, go take your dog for a walk, go for the mail. So that's kind of cool. And also how using the rule of three, I Googled this and they said that it makes it more productive to break down your large list into 3 items, and then you move on when you complete those 3 items. So then that makes it easier not to see like the whole list of the things you have scheduled for the day. Now for the fourth one, it's get out of your cave. It's pretty simple, just like taking breaks. I like find a buddy or a colleague that you can call, taking your break, walk around, talk to them about something else not related to work, because not everything is work or school. And then,
and one thing I've noticed too, when I go out to the park in the mornings, there aren't a lot of people, but in the afternoons, a lot of folks are getting out just to get that exercise, a lot more than you'd normally see out at the park, because people need to get that fresh air. Excuse me.
You want to say
that? Yeah, I had something to say.
Yes. So, well, that's making us more aware of exercise as well.
Yeah.
So for the number 5, this is kind of interesting, and I did it even before the coronavirus pandemic. This is make your laundry work for you. So a lot of people use their laundry as like they have to procrastinate something else in order to do the laundry. So I make it work as a timer. So when I go and make and set the timer for the washer, it's like the time for me to complete something, one assignment, and then I know I have to go take a break and change the loads. So the timer starts again. So it's kind of cool. And then the very last one, it applies more for the students, and it's taking notes. So I've seen my sisters and so on, like they take the classes, not all the time, but they find it convenient to don't pay a lot of attention to the lecture on the time, and then they go back and watch it again if they record it, or if they don't take notes at all. So I find it very convenient to take notes, because you're going to waste the time of the lecture and then you have to go back to watch it again and actually take notes or do the quiz for that. So I broke this into small tips. Some of them don't work for everyone, because I understand some of the students have kids. They have so many things to do at home. Yeah. This is very generic. So it has worked for me, and I've heard very cool feedback from students at the website, and they have texted me back and say, wow, the pants is very cool. I didn't think about that. So it's pretty, like, it's very cool to hear from students that some of them are working for them.
Carolina Linares, thanks for being here and bringing us up with those tips. Those are some good tips for anyone to follow, not just students. So we look forward to seeing that report, and it's currently in our social media at HCC. Thanks for being here. Stick around for a second. We're going to check in with Brittany right now. Brittany, welcome back.
Hey, good morning, Todd. Good morning, Carolina.
Morning.
And good morning, everyone who's watching us currently on Facebook. Appreciate it that you are here. Be sure to like this Facebook page, as well as share this little podcast, and that way we can broaden our audience.
Yeah, we were joking at the beginning of the show. I don't know if I mentioned it. I talked about it before we went on the air, but we normally go on at 10 a.m. live. But yesterday I got an email from my building I live in, and that's where we're remotely broadcasting from, saying they were going to do fire alarm testing starting at 10 a.m. So I thought, that's not going to work out with a live show. So we went at 9:30 this morning live. So we had to switch things up a little different. I guess we're all having to be flexible.
Yeah, you know, that little time change just kind of threw off my personal schedule, but that's okay. That's okay. Better late than never. I'm here. It's okay, everyone. Continue.
We're able to continue. Summer registration's underway. We started that just a couple of days ago, and it's going on right now, and we're not that far away from the fall registration as well.
That's correct, Todd. So summer registration is currently underway, and I know everyone's been asking about whether or not they were going to be face-to-face classes or 100% online. And the answer is, students, all summer classes will be 100% online. So be sure you go to hccs.edu/now to go check out the summer course listings. But don't worry, fall 2020 is not that far off in terms of registration. That opens on May 4th. Now, at this time, we don't actually have a concrete answer about whether or not they're going to be offered face-to-face courses or online courses. You know, every day something new happens, something changes, and we are doing our best to follow the college administration as well as city and state and federal official statements about how to proceed during this crisis. So, but don't worry, again, fall 2020 registration will open on May 4th. And be sure to go to hccs.edu/now to go check out those course listings.
And another thing too, we're moving forward with our graduation. I know we're having a lot of meetings behind the scenes to present a virtual graduation for our students. So students, if you are graduating, it happens May the 22nd, that our VAST graduation and also our regular graduation commencement ceremonies will be taking place on that day virtually online, and they can visit a website for that as well.
Definitely, Todd. All of your graduation questions, information can be found in one place, and that is simply hccs.edu/graduation. We've had some questions about how this commencement ceremony is going to take place. Do I need to purchase regalia? You know, how am I going to get my degree? All of those questions can be answered again by going to hccs.edu/graduation.
Carolina, are you? When are you planning on graduating? It's not the end of this semester, is it?
It is actually. I am graduating virtually. Yes.
Wow! Congratulations to you. So you're going to be doing the virtual thing, huh?
Yes. And fun fact, I have never actually graduated, like the walk-in, because of different things. When I moved to Houston, I had to graduate from high school and I had to finish the high school earlier. So I didn't participate in that. And then my previous associates, I didn't either. And I was planning to actually participate in this one, and now it's virtually.
But Carolina, that's okay, because you also still have the option to participate in the fall 2020 commencement ceremonies when we're back in session.
Right.
And so again, spring 2020 graduates have the opportunity to participate in the virtual ceremonies, if I can talk this morning, and or the actual physical in-person commencement ceremonies that will be held fall 2020.
And one thing we also want to let everyone know, you can still find all the information you need on our HCC homepage, hccs.edu. Scroll to the bottom, click on the virtual lobby. It says virtual assistants. We can answer all of your questions there. They do have a lot of traffic coming in, a lot of questions coming in, but they will get back to you with an answer specifically for you. You can go there, and there's also a couple of other websites they can go to as well, Brittany.
That's absolutely correct, Todd. So students, faculty, staff, be very familiar with these two websites. The first being the hccs.edu/health-notice. That's where you can find all the latest announcements directly from the college administration in regards to when we're going to open, grading policy that has temporarily changed for spring 2020, and much, much more. And students, we have a student resources page available to you during this crisis. You go to hccs.edu/COVID-19 students. You'll find a list of all the departments that have had to kind of, change their policies and accommodate for everyone during this time. So if you have questions about advising, counseling, financial aid, textbooks, did you guys know that we have free ebooks available to students until May 25th? That's incredible, right?
Yeah, it is. It's a good.
So again, if you go, students specifically, if you go to hccs.edu/COVID-19 students, go check out all the resources available there. And if you do have any other questions, like Todd said, be sure to click on that virtual lobby button at the bottom of all the home pages to have your specific question be addressed by a member of HCC.
Well, Brittany, thanks for being here and bringing us up to date with the social media questions and things people need to know. And Carolina, it's always good to have you on the show. Hopefully one day you'll be back in Houston again and your spring break, I hate to say, will end.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm always grateful to be here.
Thank you. And tomorrow on the show, we've got a couple of special guests. One of them, the high-tech Texan, is going to be joining us with some more tips for you as well, living this virtual life. He's the man with the answers. And we also have a very special guest. Brittany, do you know who else is going to be joining us tomorrow?
I don't know, Todd. Give the people the information.
Well, he's behind the scenes on this show. Our own Nathan Hale will be a guest on the show tomorrow. Nathan is the director of this show. He's one of our producers at HCCTV. He's a former student, and guess what? He's an adjunct faculty member. And we'll be talking with Nathan about what he's doing behind the scenes here. And it's cool because he's taken everything he's learned to do virtually, and he's incorporating that into his lesson plans. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow on Up to the Minute. Thanks for being here today. Yeah.
And don't forget, Nathan just rescued a new furry friend. So hopefully we'll get to see that little furry friend during tomorrow's interview.
Yeah, I know the friend's name, Jet. You'll meet Jet tomorrow as well with Nathan. There you go. Thanks for joining us at Up to the Minute today. I'm Todd Duplantis. We'll see you tomorrow.